All right, so you know what? It kind of seemed like it was going to be a pretty quiet day, right? Normally, when you're a Cleveland Browns fan, the news just pours in like crazy, right? Whether if it's coaching, GM, or drama. And today, other than a couple little tidbits on the GM search, as usual, there wasn't a whole lot of news, right? And then the world collapsed. Odell Beckham Jr. has had a warrant put out for his arrest. Now, since I heard this and some of the things that's come out about this, I haven't heard a whole bunch of news on it. He could be in jail right now for all I know. I wanted to talk about this for a while now, this topic, but it never really seemed like the right time. And now after this news, it seems like the question should come up, what should the Browns do with Odell Beckham Jr.? Should they trade him? They're not going to cut him, for all you clowns out there who say, cut him, he's a cancer. No, they're not cutting him. The Browns are now coming in with a new regime, yet another. John Dorsey was the one who got Odell Beckham Jr. to come to the Cleveland Browns. He didn't really get him to come, he traded for him, so he had to come. And a lot of the question then was, is OBJ going to be worth the problems? And for a while there, he really wasn't a big problem. At least not in my opinion. There was nothing major. There was a lot of people saying, oh, you're bringing another personality, another distraction. And for the most part, other than a few minor things, there was nothing major. Once the season started to collapse and things started getting out of control, then it started going downhill. But for the most part, even if you hate him, and I know there's a couple people that do, Beckham was not that big of a problem. And like I said, down the stretch, it got worse and worse. But it was nothing to the point of you can't live with this. The news comes out today that the New Orleans Police Department have put out a warrant for Odell Beckham Jr.'s arrest. Because, why? Because he smacked a cop on the butt in the locker room after the national championship game. Okay, well, a couple things here. Some of the people I've seen are immediately saying, cut him, trade him, get rid of him, he's cancer, whatever. Here's the thing. I respect the cops, the police officers. I respect everybody who is in that field. I have multiple family members who are. I believe it's important to respect those people. You know, their job's not easy, but this is ridiculous. There's going to be some people making excuses on why this is the worst thing in the world. Go back and watch the video, right? LSU just won the national championship. First of all, Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry were not the only ones in the locker room. In my opinion, players shouldn't even be allowed in former players shouldn't be allowed in the locker room. They're a distraction. This should be a team celebration, not a former team member celebration. And while they're in the locker room, you know, you had the whole handing out money thing and all that. OBJ, well, no, the cop is coming over to one of the LSU players. He was getting in his face a little bit. It was getting a little aggressive. And Beckham comes over, smacks him on the butt, starts saying something. I assume it was along the lines of, don't ruin the celebration. So a lot of people laughed at it, blew it off like it wasn't that big of a deal, as did I. But people today are acting like he killed a man. This is nothing. These are minor things that should have never happened. The players shouldn't be allowed in the locker room. Number one. And number two, it's on Beckham and it's on Landry to grow up. These two have, since they've been united in Cleveland, these two have been very immature. They have not been a representation of team leaders. They've been a representation of guys who are, if they're not happy, if they're not 100%, cool with what's going on, they'll fight back. And for a young team, that's not good. That's not good to see. That's not good to see when you got not a rookie quarterback, but a second-year quarterback who's struggling, and a first-year head coach at the time in Freddie Kitchens. These guys have to grow up. To me, I don't say trade Beckham, or Landry for that matter. You have an asset in Odell Beckham Jr. If you want to trade him, you need to wait until the trade value is at its highest. I don't think if you traded Odell Beckham Jr. right now, that you'll get something good, but it won't be what you gave up. At the time, what we gave up didn't look too horrible, but now when you take a step back and look at it, our needs are safety, line. When you gave up that 17th pick, you could address some of those needs. But people forget, last year, Landry wasn't this good. Jarvis Landry was not this good. Everybody was saying, we need a number one. We need a number one. Odell Beckham Jr. is our number one. Even though he didn't play like it, he's our number one. You're not going to trade somebody of his caliber for less than what you can get. Dave Gettleman should not. I don't think he should have traded OBJ because you got a young quarterback in Daniel Jones who needs a guy like that. My point is, if this was something worse, okay, it's worth talking about. But there has been nothing that has come close to cut him or trade him other than your personal opinion. There's nothing that he's done that says you can't hold on to that. Kareem Hunt doing what he did, sure. I think, it's dangerous saying this, but it's true in my opinion. I think it was a little overblown a little bit. I don't think it was as bad as people said. Now, I'm not condoning his actions or whatnot, but Beckham has not done anything even remotely close to that, okay? It's just about growing up. It's about right place, right time. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time. He's got to be held responsible. And Kevin Stefanski, as a first-year head coach, is going to have to come in. He's going to have to talk to him. He's going to have to talk to these guys and say, listen, you're a representation of this team. You got to act 24/7 like you're wearing that uniform. Because you're not known as just another guy. You're known as a superstar wide receiver in the National Football League. So, that whole situation was crazy. But should OBJ be traded based off of this? Should he be cut? No. So, like I said, new regime coming in. They're going to do with him what they want. I say keep him. Jarvis Landry, like I said, was not that good. I mean, he was good, but he wasn't like first-level receiver last year. Rashard Higgins was. Tell me I'm wrong. Over the offseason, Landry and Baker got work together, and they started clicking. This year, Landry was the number one. Beckham, over the offseason, get healthy, get, ready to go, get work with Baker, and it'll be good to go next year. I promise you. And you bring the scheme of the offense that Kevin Stefanski is going to bring, this will be fine. So we can get caught up in this trade him right now. Wait and see. If after next year it's the same, fine. But wait and see. Like I said, this is nothing too big. This is nothing worth overreacting about. Wait and see. Calm down. It'll work itself out. Like I said, I don't know the latest update, but Beckham's not going to be... I mean, it's not the end of the world, people. It's not. It's a joke. So, With that being said, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts. I know there's going to be some of you who said he's the worst thing that's ever happened to the world, and he shouldn't even be in the NFL, because that's how some fans are. If you think that, more power to you. I don't. All right. End of story. So we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.